Hey guys, how's it going? It's Renee. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and if you're not, then welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. Before I start, I just want to say that everything I mention in this video will be linked down in the description box, so don't worry, everything will be there. Just trying to make your life a little bit easier. Today I'll be sharing a resource that I have really loved, and it's a book called Unter Der Erde, which means something along the lines of buried, underground, dead, right? I really like it because it's not your boring old textbook, trying to switch it up a bit here. So it is a story, it's a crime story, a murder mystery, crime thriller kind of book. It just grabs my attention as opposed to studying with the grammar, so you can learn through stories. Everything that just deals with murders and the police and the law is, I don't know why, but it just grabs my attention and I'm more interested in that. I'm not going to kill anyone soon, so don't worry about that. And yeah, I hope that this kind of story is interesting to you, and it'll just make learning German a lot more fun and easy. So this book, Unter Der Erde, I would recommend for those who are at an intermediate level, those who have been studying German maybe for about a year, for those who are comfortable with cases, if you know what the difference between dative and accusative versus nominative and genitive and so on and so forth, and how to use them, when to use them, if you're comfortable with the grammar and so on, right? Not so much for beginners. If you are a beginner, I mean, when I tell you what to do, if you are up for a challenge, then by all means, get the book and see for yourself if you enjoy it. It might be a little bit overwhelming, because you might have to look up every other word. It's up to you. If you like what I cover in this video, then you might want to check it out, right? Another thing, on the cover it says that it is recommended for someone at the B1 level. B1 pretty much means intermediate. If you don't know what B1 means, it's a framework that is used in a lot of European countries. It's pretty much a scale from A1, which is the beginner level, all the way to C2, which is the native level. And it pretty much just measures your fluency or your language abilities in so-and-so language. So a lot of schools use this. You can take tests to determine what level you're in. And I believe a lot of employers will also use this if you apply for a job. They might make you take a test to see if you're capable or up to par with everyone else to work at that company or wherever. I personally don't like labeling myself or other people and saying, oh, I speak German at an F30 level and you speak it at an A0. Like, what does that mean, right? What does being fluent in a language actually mean? I don't want to get into that. I just feel it's a really abstract concept and it's kind of hard, right, to measure, to determine how good someone is at a certain language. Because for example, I can be really good at talking about travel, right, in German, but then on the other hand, you might be better at talking about science, right? It just depends on who you ask, really. But it all comes down to having fun and being able to express yourself and understand the other person, right, you're trying to communicate with. I'm going to read a little bit for you guys so you guys can get a feel of the book and hopefully you'll like it.
Der perfekte Mord. Das Allgäu ist ein Paradies für Skifahrer. Du kannst dich darauf verlassen. Du wirst diese Woche großen Spaß haben. Aber wenn du alleine bist, komm du doch gleich mit. Du kannst gerne mit uns was essen, sagte Lisa. Sie drückte die Tür der Berghütte auf und schaute sich nach ihren Freunden um. Ah, das sind sie, komm mit. Wie war dein Name nochmal? Mir, ich heiße Mir. Komm mit mir. Leute, könnt ihr noch ein bisschen zusammenrücken? Mir ist mit uns. Ich habe sie auf der Piste gefunden. Oder sie mich. Sie ist hier alleine und ich habe sie zu uns eingeladen. Mir, das sind Benedikt, Sarah, Andrea, Matthias und Sebastian. Hallo zusammen, sagte Mir, etwas schüchtern. Sebastian schaute sie dabei sehr interessiert an. Bitte, nennen Sie mich Seb. Nur meine Steuerarbeiterin nennt mich Sebastian an. Setz dich bitte. Lisa, was hättet ihr denn gerne? Wir haben gerade bestellt Pilz und Punsch und zum Essen das Übliche. Also diese Dinge da, Specknödel. Soll ich für euch beide dasselbe bestellen? Für mich gerne, danke, das hört sich gut an, lächelte Mia freundlich. Ich machte ihr nichts aus, allein zu sein, aber diese Leute machten einen netten Eindruck. Sie freute sich schon auf die Gesellschaft und natürlich auf das warme Essen.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there just so I won't bore you to death and so this video won't be 50 minutes long, right? Something I want to mention about this book is that it's not one long story, but rather a bunch of small, short stories. If you're someone who doesn't really like reading that much, because you get bored or tired of the same story, then this is good news for you because each chapter is a new story, a new setting, new characters, just a new world altogether. Something I really enjoyed about this book are the vocab words in red, right? So you see here Berghütte, Klick oder Klicke, Motiv, Eiszapfen. All these words in red are words that the author sprinkled throughout the chapter, throughout the whole book actually. You might not know that are new for you. Okay, so if you go all the way to the back of the book, you will find vocab lists for each and every one of these chapters. And the coolest thing about all of this is that the definitions are in German and not a simple English translation. So the author is making you work just a little bit harder, right? And the big plus about this is that you'll be integrating more German into your everyday life and not relying so much on English, right? So if you're already listening to German music or watching German TV shows, you'll also be looking up words in German, right? And not relying on English, like I said. So you won't be grabbing a bilingual dictionary, English-German, to look up words, but rather a monolingual German dictionary, which is great because you're doing more things in German, right? And not so much in English. So this will tremendously help you in the long run, right? Because you're using more German to understand and not relying so much on English. Another really fun feature that I liked about this book is the audio. So if you're someone who likes to learn through listening as opposed to reading, then you can because the audio already exists and it's totally free. All you have to do is get on YouTube, type in Unter der Erde Pons or audio, and you will come across the playlist and just click on the playlist. Here, let me show you. So you see, here's the playlist. Click on the playlist and it should start.
Pons, Unter der Erde, von Dominic Butler. 1. Der perfekte Mord. Das Allgäu ist ein Paradies für Skifahrer. Du kannst dich darauf verlassen, du wirst diese Woche großen Spaß haben. Aber wenn du alleine bist, komm doch gleich mit, du kannst gerne mit uns was essen.
That's awesome, isn't it? So on the side you can see that Chapter 1, Kapitel 2, Kapitel 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 und so weiter und so fort, right? So they're all here. So yeah, I would definitely take advantage of this feature, especially since it's free. What I did to get the most out of this book was that I would read an entire chapter and write down all the words or phrases that I didn't understand on my whiteboard. After that, I would study the words or the vocab or the phrases, and then I would revisit the chapter, but this time I wouldn't read it. I would only listen to it, right? I would do an active listening exercise and not read it simultaneously. If there were any words or phrases that I still didn't understand, I would write them again, but this time I would jot them down in my German notebook, and have them engraved there forever. This worked for me. If you want to try it out, definitely try it out and let me know in the comments if it works for you. There are a couple ways you can get your hands on this book. First one is to visit the Goethe Institute online library. It's totally free. All you have to do is sign up and that's it. Then you're a member. The Goethe Institute, if you don't know, is a German school where you can learn German, and they also spread German culture throughout the world. And Goethe, if you don't know who he was a prominent figure during the German Romanticism, which was a cultural movement in German literature. And he was, let me read it to you. He did a lot of things during his time. He was a poet, politician, writer, playwright, scientist, theater director, critic, and an artist. Two of his most famous novels are Faust and The Sorrows of Young Werther, Faust und die Leiden des jungen Werthers. I forgot to mention that you don't have to be currently enrolled or be a former student or whatever at the Goethe Institute to have access to their online library or their physical library. So go sign up. You might have heard this cheesy saying before, but it's very true, and I will repeat it once again. Learning a language is a marathon and not a sprint. Don't give up and keep on going. You know, you're not gonna learn it overnight. Also, das war es schon, and I hope that you liked this video. I hope that I motivated you in some way, shape, or form to continue learning German. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. The button's down there. Smash it. And if you have any questions or comments, write them down below, and I will be more than happy to get back to you. Also ich wünsche euch viel Spaß und Erfolg beim Deutschlernen. Macht's gut und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal.